All right. Hello again. Yeah, as you can tell, I was just asked if I want to join this Cycle Nation ride, but I tried and yeah, couldn't get into the ride, and now we have connection disconnected. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Because we have been on a ride earlier where we didn't have any problems. But now it seems like there's some sort of issue with connectivity. So my watch still gets the power from Zwift and from the bike. Yeah, now we are back to being connected. All right. Yeah, I'll have to write another email to Zwift because that has happened before. When I was finally able to join to late join the ride, it then led me on a different route and I could not get back to the group. And when I was telling Zwift about this, they're saying, oh no, the issue was on your end. But today I actually have some video proof that it was not me. Anyhow, so we decided to do some route badge hunting, and we are on the Royal Pump Room 8. Yeah, we haven't been on this route before, and the good thing is that this is, I think, Yorkshire, and this is the last route that we haven't finished yet. So once we are done with this, we are done with this world and can move on to others. So that's actually quite nice. So let's see if there's anything. So the route here seems to be relatively hilly. So we have about 28, I think, kilometers in total. And yeah, almost 500 meters vertical, which is quite a bit. As you can see, there are not a lot of people on here. So I guess it's not a very popular world, and it has, I think, only 5 or 6 different routes. But anyways, yeah, so this morning we did stage 2 of the Tour de Zwift, which is not a race, but it became a race rather quickly, and although we shouldn't have, we were going at about, I think, 2.7 watts per kilo on average, which is not good because yeah, we are still recovering from COVID, or from our last bout with COVID. We're just over a week negative now, and the second time around was definitely worse than the first time. But yeah, we survived, so that's good. And hopefully things will be back to normal relatively soon. So for this route here, we don't have any expectations as to how fast to finish, what wattage to put out. We are essentially just taking a stroll, taking it relatively easy. Take it as a somewhat recovery ride from the previous one, where we did, I think it was a total of about 20k, and it took us about just about 30 minutes, I guess, maybe a little less, not sure, something like this. But so that will tell you that it was a rather quick race. Yeah, when I couldn't get onto the Cycle Nation ride for like 3 times, I figured to just leave it, because because I was very annoyed last time when then after I finally made it into that ride, maybe 20 minutes into the ride, it just routed maybe 10% of the people towards Ventop, which is like the Mont Ventoux area, and yeah, there was just no way to get back, and yeah, I wasn't really feeling it that day to get up Mont Ventoux, so I essentially had to abandon the ride. And yeah, it was quite annoying, because I would have definitely done something else instead. Anyhow, lessons learned, and so we saw the same thing happening earlier, and that's why we decided to then just say, okay, let's go and finish this world, because this is also one of our goals for this year, to finish all the rides. That are available on Zwift. So the expectation for this route, or Zwift is saying it should be less than 90 minutes. And I'm not quite sure what kind of power they base that on, but distance-wise it doesn't sound too bad with 28k. That should usually be done in less than an hour. But of course here it is the the vertical meters that makes it tougher. And having 500 of those vertical meters, or 400 something, on a relatively short course just means that there's going to be a lot of punchy climbs. Earlier today in this race was also the first time in a long time that my Garmin watch was telling me that the performance is actually increasing instead of decreasing. But I'm not quite sure if it will now tell me in a couple of minutes that it's going down again, because we had a heart rate earlier of more than 180, which is quite a bit for us, and definitely is in the highest range, close to 100%. And even though we had like a 15-minute break or so, it feels like we didn't fully recover in between. And yeah, so unfortunately we still get prompted to join the Cycle Nation event, and since it's already past the time that it started, I can't unsign my participation. Yeah. But in 10 minutes the late join would be closed, and then we shouldn't be prompted anymore. So we'll try to hold on to our feather for a little longer, because yeah, this hill here at 3% is annoying, but it's just annoying because it's so long, and other more punchy inclines would be more suitable for us to deploy our PU. Yeah, there you go. Minus three points on performance. Yeah, I think simply because the heart rate didn't go all the way down, and when we started biking on this route, the heart rate went up again quite quickly, even though we didn't put that much power out. But as I said before, these things, they don't really matter to us at the moment. We know why that is, and as long as we can improve overall endurance, power and cycling ability, we'll be fine. Today is also the last day where we can add to our weekly distance and time. And it seems like we'll achieve our goal for distance, but not for time. So time per week we set at 11 hours, and distance we set to 310 kilometers. And we had about 50 kilometers left for the week, and we did 20 earlier, so that leaves 30, no, I think actually 29. And once we are done with this, that should add about 28, and then we'll just stay on this course for another kilometer or two, just to make sure that we'll achieve our distance goal. There will definitely be weeks when we will get far over that goal, as we are planning on having a couple of very, very long distance rides where we try to do 333 is the next big goal in one ride. And yeah, I don't think that it will happen by the end of this month, but I'm shooting for the end of this quarter 1 2023. And yeah, oh, we got company, so let's spread some love, give a ride on. Well, I would like to say a fellow Dane, but I'm actually not Danish, but I do really feel very close to the Danes. Beautiful country, very nice people in general, and they do a lot of things right. Work-life balance, very outdoorsy people, very sporty people, very sports interested, and yeah, they do pretty well on all the sports that I really like. Biking, when you look at the last Tour de France, Jonas Vingegaard actually won. For such a small country, huge achievement. And a couple of years back they actually did have also a professional road biker who came from mountain biking, also I think world champion from Denmark, which is even more impressive considering that Denmark, I think the highest point in Denmark is some 100 meters, 120 meters, which is virtually nothing. But anyways, lots of fitness enthusiasts, a lot of runners, speed skaters. When I used to do speed skating quite intensely, and yeah, a lot of very good speed skaters from Denmark. Then I do play badminton, and a lot of very, very good badminton players. World number 1 in men's singles, reigning world champion, reigning Olympic champion, Axelsen, a Dane. Yeah, Victor by first name, Victor Axelsen. Fantastic player. He's actually in the finals of the Malaysian Open, which we'll play later today. I think at 1, they start at 1 p.m. with the mixed doubles, and then go through all 5 disciplines: mixed doubles, man doubles, women doubles, women singles, man singles. I'm not sure about the chronological order, but So in about a minute time we should see the prompt on the bottom left for us to join the Cycle Nation endurance ride. We should see that disappear, because they have a hard or a cutoff after 30 minutes, and it is just about 1:30. Yeah, so far I really like this route, going through the English countryside. Those stone walls that you see to the left is actually very prominent in all of the UK. I also saw that quite a bit in Scotland, where they essentially make fences with those stone walls. It's very, very cool. But in all honesty, and generally speaking, the roads are not as nice as here on Zwift. First of all, they're rarely that wide, and the tarmac is rarely that smooth. Lots of potholes. But other than that, it's a very honest depiction of the English countryside. Sheep's grazing, farmers attending their land, some nice farmhouses, old barns. Yeah, I used to live in the UK. I still have an apartment up in Scotland, which is a very nice place to be, if you can deal with the rain. But one of the good things that the rain brings is actually that the green of the grass is unbelievably lush, very saturated green. And on those 1 or 2 days a year when you have the sun shining and then the blue of the water, the yellow of the sandy beach, and the green of nearby golf courses, it's unbelievably nice. I used to work for the university in St Andrews in the School of Chemistry, and the building, or the chemistry building, was situated such that you would actually overlook the old golf course in St Andrews, and in the far distance you could see the beach, and it's a nice blue water. So that color spectacle that I was just describing, the green of the golf course, the yellow sandy beach, the blue of the water, and the glistening of the sun in the water, and then the blue sky, unbelievable. Just very, very beautiful. But unfortunately that doesn't happen very often. I remember that I started working at the university in August, and when was that? August 2009. And so I came from the US, and just maybe in June or beginning of July, I went with some friends to Las Vegas to have a go away party, and I remember walking back to the hotel at 3 or 4 in the morning, which is supposed to be the coldest it can be. And I remember the temperature showing 37 degrees. Unbelievably hot. Degrees C. And yeah, then I went to Germany, saw my parents, and then we drove up to Scotland with all my stuff. And I kid you not, once we hit the border to Scotland, it started raining. And I think we arrived like maybe 4 or 5 days before my first working day. And it didn't stop raining until mid of October. And it was one continuous downpour for all of August, all of September, and into October. And the temperatures in August with the rain, they were just somewhere around 13, 14 degrees. It was miserable. But yeah, I still have very, very fond memories of Scotland. First property I owned. And yeah, working with one of the most well-known professors in the world in high temperature fuel cells. That was very interesting, very rewarding. But yeah, only stayed there for about a year and then moved to England to work in a company near London, also a fuel cell company. And yeah, that was also nice. Did a lot of mountain biking there with friends, and yeah, it was definitely not the first thing that would come to mind when thinking about England, that there's such a big community for mountain biking, everything, downhill, cross country. Yeah, but yeah, so that was quite nice. Yeah, fun memories. But again, roads as nice as this, I've not seen a lot of those in the UK. So there's a little KOM here, which we will not contest. No interest in getting the heart rate up again to unsavory levels. Actually 130 is already too high. Or 130 would actually be okay, because that would still be zone 2. Alright, you know what? Let's bring out the headband. because it is quite sweaty. Yeah, the person in front of me, him or her, the avatar seems to be a male, so let's just assume that it's a he. I used to play badminton in Denmark with a lady who was a multiple world champion in, I think, 050, 055 and 060, and her name is Lone, and I think her last name is also Knudsen. Yeah, she was unbelievably fit given her age, very fast on court. Alright, let's try to stick with this guy a little bit longer. Alright, here we go. At 20k there's very little drafting we can do, but keeping him in our sight will give us at least a little goal to stick with him. Okay, 350 meters left. Our personal best on this is just a sub 4 minutes, and now we are expected to finish in 6:15 ish. So that just tells you how much of a easy Sunday stroll that is, rather than competition. So when we reach the top here, we should have roughly half of the vertical meters. And we are also roughly half the distance, not quite yet, but so that means that the vertical meters are quite evenly spread across the two halves. Let's try to catch up with him. So let's see what we are getting. All right, just got some extra XP points. Unfortunately only the small one, which is 10, but yeah, that's fine. So now we are half, 13.9 kilometers to go, same distance done. And so far we've been riding for 36 minutes, so we'll probably end up being around 110, 115 if you keep the same average speed. We're also back in zone 2, which is really nice, which is kind of expected when you're going downhill, right? But it's still nice to see that we can recover rather quickly. And let's see. Okay, there's another hill. Yeah, lots of these hills here in Yorkshire. Alright, we are not even gonna try to stick with this guy, as he's doing more than 3 watts per kilo, and we are not there yet. But our friend Knudsen is still on the same route. So let's see if we'll meet again. Yeah, those houses here on the left with those exposed bricks, they are very typical English, and I really like those. Very beautiful. So let's see if we can beat at least one of our personal bests. So that should be a little accomplishment. Of course we didn't go full out, because it's always nice when you're back on the same route to be able to incrementally get more and more personal best. So I try to just go just below my previous personal best, so that there's still room for doing it again on the next lap or the next time I'm on the course. So our Danish compatriot seems to be slowly catching up with us again. He's putting out a couple more watts than us. Yeah, sometimes I try to make people work for their meal and, you know, try to sprint away. But yeah, not today. Because it would look really weird and weak if we try to do that and then he still catches up with us and we have nothing left in the tank to even hold his wheel. Alright, there goes someone with 3.8, 3.5-ish watts per kilo. German guy from a team called What Fabric, or in German Wattfabrik, which is quite a clever name. I wish I had come up with this. Fabrik is actually a place where you manufacture something, and like a company, but the company focused on producing something, and so they essentially saying that they are producing watts. Quite a clever pun. All right, another small little kicker. 10, 11, 12 or 15%. Hiya! And the climb hasn't even started yet. And now, as you can see, we lost our Danish friend. So he was not on the same route as we are. Yeah. So we are, again, as a reminder, we are on the Royal Pump Room 8. I think at least that's what it's called. Yeah, so he must have been on a different route. Anyhow, don't really mind biking by myself. And it looks like we might be in for another personal best. Nothing really to write home about because the watts we are putting out are very, very low. But I think I've been on this in this world, Yorkshire, before, only to do recovery rides. So that explains why there's still plenty of room to improve on times, because I was essentially just spinning out my legs. So one thing I'm actually quite happy about is that because I'm not on the Cycle Nation ride, where they were going today 160 kilometers or 161 for Imperial Century. I mean, I wouldn't have done that anyways. I wouldn't have finished that anyways, but I would have tried to do 100k, which is probably also not smart because I did go quite deep earlier, at least heart rate wise, in the to the Zwift stage 2 ride. But anyways, so the good thing is that we'll be able to get off the bike much earlier and enjoy coffee, a cake, talk with the family in Germany, and then easily transition into the evening, probably go and get some food at our favorite place here in Bauding. Pizza place. And then prepare for tomorrow to go back to work, but only for 2 days. Because on Wednesday we'll have our first vacation day, official public vacation day for Chinese New Year. So the company is closed from the 18th to the 28th of January, and I'm still not sure what to do. I was perfectly fine with just staying home, trying to get some kilometers under my belt, but it now looks like maybe a little trip to Hong Kong or Macau or both, and then after the holiday I would actually need to be in Beijing for an extra day because I applied for a green card, or I will apply for a green card, and one of the things necessary is a proper health check at a dedicated hospital in Beijing. So I'll probably try to do that on the 29th and then come back to Bauding. All right, here we are. So just used our PU before the arch, and now we get the feather, which will be very useful because we still have at least another 100 meters of climbing ahead of us. So for those who don't know, if you stop pedaling at speeds above 58 kilometers per hour and you're going downhill more than, I want to say 3%, you'll go into the super tuck position, which I don't know why he's not getting, my avatar is not getting into. But yeah, normally the avatar automatically goes into the super tuck, which is where you essentially sit on the top tube in a very aero position. It has been banned by the UCI for road races, but as the people from GCN would say, the UCI has no jurisdiction here. Maybe we can use our feather now, making it a little bit easier to get up the hill. Unfortunately, it is only good for I think 20 seconds. That it will just take off, I want to say 20% of your weight, which is quite an improvement, but it is only for a very short amount of time. But in races it's quite helpful because you can definitely get away from a group if you use that power up and at the same time put a huge effort in. That combination will propel you away from the group, and if it's very strung out, then it's also very difficult for individuals to catch up with you on the downhill. For groups it's quite easy, but yeah, for individuals not so much. Alright, so 21k, which means we have done 3/4 of our tour, of our afternoon delight here. So if I'm not mistaken, we should come out at about 1 hour and 12 minutes. So we had 21k at maybe 54 minutes something. So divided by 3 is 18. 18 times 4, 72. 1 hour 12. So essentially 16 minutes to go. Glad to see that there's still some downhill sections. Oh, we just got a ride on from a friend who's usually on those Cycle Nation rides. Laura from South Africa. All right, let's do one more. We deserve it. Seems like we're actually making up ground to the guy in front of us, Church Ward. Oh yeah, 16%. Okay, that might be the last climb, because that looks very steep. And again, I want to say the total for the whole course was, I want to say above 450, but less than 480. So if we have another 30-40 meters here, we might already be done with the verticals. Yeah, that was definitely wrong what I was saying. It will be catching up with Church Ward. He's going at 4 watts per kilo right now. We're doing half of this. There's no way we catch up with him. It was just that he was already on the incline, while we are still going on the flats, or even slightly downhill, which meant that the distance between us decreased quite a bit, and therefore the time. But it's essentially a false statistic, because as you can see now, he's 23 seconds ahead of us. Yeah. I'm putting a little dig in here to see if I can catch up with our Australian friend and maybe even our Japanese friend Nishi before we are going downhill. This would be very helpful. So Nishi is still pulling away, it seems, but Framp we seem to be getting closer and closer to. So it seems like Framp is interested in riding together, which we appreciate. And very nice of him to pull. So now Nishi is on our side, 5 seconds ahead of us. So I'll probably just rest behind him for a little while. Unless Framp wants to go up front again and pull. It's always funny to see how people start speeding up when they see someone coming by. $25K done. 2K to go. And hopefully we'll get the route badge. Just putting in another effort because I saw that Framp was trying to catch up with us, and if you put in an extra effort and people see that even when they put out 3 watts per kilo for like 10 seconds, they don't see the distance closing, they usually give up. That's also true for races, so keep that in mind for your races. If you got a little gap of a few meters or seconds, if you have the power and you see someone behind you increases their power to try to catch up with you, you can break them if you dig deep for those usually 20-30 seconds, because if they see they don't make any meters up to you, they usually give up. All right, let's see. And yes, Royal Pump Room 8, route complete. Fantastic. So we'll do a little more, simply because we have this weekly distance of 310k that we want to achieve, and that should be coming up in about a kilometer. So we definitely want to get that, and then we'll probably spin out the legs and maybe stop at 31k. 31 is prime. Unfortunately, with the 20k we did earlier today, we end up with a total distance for today of 51, which unfortunately is not prime because it's 3 times 17, but you can't have everything. So now we don't care if anyone will overtake us. We've done our exercise for today. 2 different rides. One in somewhat a race setting, which wasn't supposed to be one, but oh well. And one in a free ride. We also got 500 vertical meters, which is fantastic because, as you probably know by now, I'm really trying to get that Tron bike unlocked. And yeah, I'm probably halfway there. About, yeah, we can check it later. But I think I have about 25,000 vertical meters so far. Usually people would have unlocked that bike at level 27, but we started with a different challenge. We started with the Tour de California, which is distance based, not vertical meters. And yeah, don't ask why. It was just what I signed up for in the beginning. So we essentially started accumulating vertical meters that count for this Everest challenge only after maybe 3,000 kilometers or 2.5 that we've already been on Zwift. And all those vertical meters for the first 2,500, they didn't count. Anyways. So yes, let's use our power up. Can't take it with us anyways. Let's give a little ride on. All right, 30k. Yeah, so I think one more K, unless there's a big downhill coming up, which I'm not sure about, then we will stop there and call it a day. I can see the beacon there, the yellow, green, showing that there's a sprint to start. Yeah, we are not going to sprint. Some other day. So you'll probably see our Ghost Rider zooming away from us. There you go. But yeah, we're doing 90 watts at the moment, 80 maybe. So So now we're essentially grinding at 70 RPM, but with the power we are putting out, it doesn't hurt our legs. But I would advise against putting significant amounts of power out and then grinding, because that will not only fatigue your muscles quite quickly, but also put a lot of strain on your knee and ligaments. So get another 10 XP points. And we are back in zone 2, which is great. So it's nice to end this ride almost back where we started. Not actually exactly where we started, because when we started this ride, the heart rate was already in zone 2. So we have nothing in zone 1 for this ride, which is rather unusual, but normal when you consider that we actually just came from another ride. And that one we did quite an effort. Anyways, so you can see that we finished another route, and this is the Royal Pump Room 8. I hope you enjoyed it. If you feel like it, subscribe, leave a comment. If you want me to chat about some other stuff, not talk at all, or give me a topic that you want me to talk about, let me know. And yeah, for now, just goodbye. Have a great Sunday, and ride hard, have fun, tight. Take care, see you in the next one. Bye.